Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear student. I am conveying my greeting and best wishes to all of you. Hope that everyone is fine and healthy along with your daily life's activity. May you all be protected from all kind of pandemics as well as hardship of life. This is a series of lectures of subject of organizational behavior. In the previous lecture, we thought about the motivation concepts. The same lecture will continue as a lecture number 9, motivation concept, in which today we will be discussing in this lecture about the theories of motivation. So there are different theory that has been given by social scientists and for the individual in the organizations, that how to change and modify the behavior of individual as well as a group in the organizations to achieve their individual and organizational goals and effectiveness. So we discussed about in previous lecture the definitions, importance, nature and motivation process. Since we talked this in 5th semester as well in subject of psychology, there we talked about motivation types as well, but I'm not going to talk about its types here. I'm gonna just going to today talk about the motivations concept. Specifically, the topic is theories of motivations. Let me remind you, dear students, for the detailed study, just you can refer to the reference books. At the very beginning in my first lecture, which I mentioned you the books, and which I have already shared the books with you. You can study that for your more understanding. If you've got any question and facing with any sort of problems in that textbooks as well as in online lectures, so you can contact me through my WhatsApp number. It's my pleasure to know and help each and every one of you. So let us talking about the theories of motivations. There are different theories that has been given by psychologists about the motivations, about inspiring the individual, about exciting, moving, give energy, activating some individuals to direct their behaviors in a particular manner to achieve their targets. So in the motivation concept, just let me talk about the things that motivation is the process that account for an individual intensity, that accounts for individual directions, and that accounts for individual persistence of efforts towards gaining, achieving and attaining of our goals. So what does in this definition motivation concept, as I mentioned, 3 words: intensity of individual, direction of individual and persistence of individual. What does each word means? So in regard to the words intensity, intensity means that it's describing that how hard a person tries, needs to be in the right directions. It means that how should an individual should try hard and do their level best, that they need to be in the right paths, in the right directions. So that is intensity. While the second word, that is directions. So direction means needs to be right. Now this direction is the final is the way of achieving or getting to the final targets, that we are going in the right directions. We won't get our target unless we do not go on the right paths, unless we do not go in the right direction. So direction means that it needs to be in the right way. If you're losing in the way, if you're losing the way, if you're changing your way, surely you would not be capable of achieving your targets. For that, right direction is required. The third point that I discussed, that what persistence. So what does the persistence means? persistent measures that how long a person can maintain his efforts to show the resistance, for how long such person can show their resistance toward the efforts that he is doing. We do the efforts for achieving of our own targets. Achieving of targets require the efforts of humans. Now, these efforts of humans require the persistency of the persons. If a person is not persistent in his work, he would not attain his goal. For achieving a goal, persistency is important. So that's why in the motivation concept that we say it is the process of intensity, direction, and persistence of an individual's. So, about the theories of motivations, there are some early theories of motivation. So, there are 5 theories. Now, it's questionable in terms of validity, but as a manager, you need to know them for 2 reasons. These all theories like Maslow needs hierarchy theories, drive reduction theory, Herzberg 2-factor theories, goal setting theories, and under first earth theories. So as a manager, you need to know these theories for 2 reasons. First, they are the foundation from which the contemporary theory has grown up, and secondly, practicing manager still regularly use them in their terminology in explaining implies motivations. So for these 2 reasons, as a manager you need to know about these theory of motivations, like Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory and the theory of X and Y, 2-factor theories, and Maslow's theory of needs, and so many other theory. But understanding of these 2 theories are very much important. So let us first we are talking about the Abraham Maslow's hierarchy needs theory. As you might know that we discussed about this point in previous semester in subject of psychology in details the Maslow theory, but let me just remind you with the previous lectures or with the previous semester repetition of today's lecture number 9 motivation concept subject title of the motivation theory. So Abraham Maslow hierarchy of needs theory is the best known theory, and in the hierarchy of this there are 5 needs of human that has been classified by the Abraham Maslow's of humans. 5 needs have been stated and explained in this theory, and what are these 5 theories that each one we are going to discuss about it in details. So Maslow wanted to understand what motivates people. That was his target, that he wanted to know that what are the things, what are the factors that is becoming a leading cause of the individual in the organizations, or that is a leading cause for the peoples in the surroundings to motivate them. He believed that people possess a set of motivation system that is unrelated rewards or unconscious desire. Maslow in 1943 stated that people are motivated to achieve certain needs, ascending from the lowest to highest. He classified the needs of humans from the lower level to the upper level. It means from the lowest to the highest, in ascending order, not in descending. He explained the needs of 5 needs of humans in 5 in ascending order. When one need is fulfilled, a person seeks to fulfill the next one, and next one, and so on, as we talk in the nature of a motivation, that it is an unending process. One is fulfilled, second need will arise, that is fulfilled, third need will arise, that is fulfilled, fourth will arise, that is fulfilled, fifth will arise, and so on. That is why the nature of motivation is an unending process. So the earliest and most widespread version of the Maslow 1943-1954 hierarchy of needs includes 5 motivational needs that is often depicted as a hierarchical levels within a pyramids. So what is Maslow needs hierarchy theories? Needs were classified and needs were categorized as 5 levels from lower to higher order needs. So individual must satisfy the lower order needs before they satisfy the higher order needs. So satisfying needs will no longer motivate. Motivating a person depends on knowing at what level the person is on the hierarchy. Human behavior is a goal directed. Motivation causes goal directed behaviors. It can be understood by understanding the hierarchy of needs. By manager, the needs of individuals serve as a driving force in human behaviors. Therefore, a manager must understand the hierarchy of needs. Maslow has proposed the needs of hierarchies model. So what are these Maslow hierarchy of needs model theory? The first is physiological needs like hunger, thirst, shelter and sex. These are the basic needs for sustaining human life, such as air, food, drink, shelter, warmth, sleep. When these needs are not satisfied, other needs will not motivate the peoples. So first of all, these important survival needs are very much important for the employees. If these are not satisfied, other needs will not motivate the peoples toward their movement of getting their targets. So that is why this is important that these needs should be at the very beginning, should be fulfilled. While in second category, that is security or safety needs. So this is this when the survival for the existence of the basic human needs are fulfilled, then human demand is more enough, that is security and safety needs, which is physical and emotional safety of the employee in the organizations. Or people want to be free of physical dangers and of the fear of losing a job, property, shelter, self-security, instabilities. This is the second needs of humans that requires in the organization, that there should be a job security, their job should be secure, there shouldn't be insecurity of their jobs, there should be security of their property, shelters, and there should be their self-securities. It means that they are both property in their life should be secure, and all the employees in the organization should be away from the physical dangers and losing of their jobs. That is the second needs. The third needs, that is, we can call it also social needs, which is affections, belongingness, acceptance and friendships. At the same time, we can say affiliations or love and belongingness needs. Since people are social beings, they need to belong and they need to be accepted by others, such as friendship, intimacy, affection and love from work group, family and friends. This is the human needs. The nature of humans is that they to be respected, to be loved, sympathy should be there with them, and in nature they should be social. So that is the third needs. Belongings. Employees should be loved. It means more love should be given to the employees, as well as sort of friendships, a teamwork and friendship. A sense of friendship should be there among the employees, and their all things should be accepted, and whatever they belong to, like a social activity in their day-to-day life activity, that should be fulfilled, which is the needs of humans in the societies. While the fourth needs, which comes after fulfilling the third needs. The fourth will arise, that is called esteem needs. So in esteem needs there are internal factors, which is for self-respect of the persons, and the persons should be independent, autonomy should be theirs, and achievement. While there is external factor as well in esteem needs, that is status of a person should be known, as well as recognition of the persons, and attention should be given to such persons. Esteem needs, once people begin to satisfy their needs to belong, they tend to be held in esteem both by themselves and by others, such as achievement, independence, status, dominance, prestigious respect from others. So, it means that individual in the organization should be respected, valued, and prestige should be given to them. Dominancy, the person should be independent. So all these are the needs of employee in the organizations that could affect their behaviors to motivate toward the achievement of organizational effectiveness, organizational goals, and individual effectiveness. While the fifth needs of the individuals as well as the employee in the organizations or people are the self-actualization needs. So that is drive to become what we are capable of becoming. So it includes the growth of persons, achieving our potentials and self-fulfillments. This is the highest needs in Maslow hierarchy. It is the desire to become what one is capable of becoming, such as to maximize the personal potential, self-fulfillment, self-seeking personal growth in peak experience. This is the last and highest desire and needs of the employee in the hierarchy needs of Maslow theory, which is the fifth ones. It means the person is self-dependent, it means that self-confidence, it means that self-potential, can do the things independently in the organizations. It means achieve the dominance in the organization, achieve the freedom in the organizations, emancipations. So humans' needs are starting from the lower, which is the physical needs, and goes up in the hierarchy to the high level of their need, that is self-actualization needs. So the first, we divide it generally into two portions. Then this is only, if you see in this picture, this is only the this picture depicts the. So this picture depicts the hierarchy needs of Maslow theory, that is starting from the physiological needs, which is important for the survival of humans, like shelter, water, oxygen, air, and this is what the human needs for its survival. Second is safety needs, safety of their properties and in life, and third is love and belongingness needs. Fourth is esteem needs, and the fifth, which is the highest level of needs of the individual organization, it comes at the final round in the hierarchy of Maslow theories, but it do start from the very lowest and goes to the highest one. Now we are dividing this totally these Maslow hierarchy theories into two order needs. It means the first two needs, that is for example or lower needs. The first, it means from where the need starts here, the first these two. While the next three are our higher needs, this and this one. It comes in our higher order needs. So lower order needs predominantly satisfy our externals, externally, like for example pay, contracts, and tenure, while our higher order needs satisfy internally within the persons. So in physiological need, food, water, warmth, and rest. Safety needs, we have security and safety, and belongingness. In love needs, we have intimate relationship with friend, that is our basic needs. Esteem needs prestige, feeling of accomplishments, and self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, including creative activities. It comes our self-fulfillment needs, while esteem needs in belonging in love needs are the physiological needs of humans. Needs have been classified into following orders, as we discussed earlier as well. Physical needs, these are the basic needs of individual, which include food, clothing, shelter, air, water. These are related to the survival and maintenance of humans. Safety needs, these are also important for human being. Everybody wants job security, protection against danger, safety of property. And third is social need. These needs are emerged from society. So man is a social animal. These needs become important. For example, love, affection, belongingness, friendship, and conversations. While esteem needs, these need relate to desire for self-respect, recognition, and respect from others. And while the fifth is self-actualization needs, that refers to the need of personal growth and development throughout one's life. These are the needs of the highest order, and these needs are found in those persons whose previous four needs are satisfied, and this will include needs for social service and mediations. A substantially satisfied need no longer motivates. So thus, as each of these needs becomes substantially satisfied, the next one becomes the dominance. So it means one is satisfied, the next one become dominant. So as a manager, if you need to motivate someone, you need to understand what level of the hierarchy the person is currently on, and focus on satisfying the need at or above that level that employee requires in the organization. So as a manager, you have to know about your needs of the employees, at which level they are. So research does not validate the theory, but told theories dies hard. We have many factors of motivations in the process of all theories. There are 4 factors of motivation that exist in every organization or business. The basic factors of that is affecting motivation is the leadership style. See what leaderships you are following. Is that the leadership is autocratic, democratic, is that is custodial, is that is collegial, it is that supportive. Which kind of leadership style you are applying in organizations? Is it a supportive leadership style that you are supporting your employee in organizations, or it is only autocratic, or just whatever the top leadership say, that is the final decision, the employee should follow only what the autocrat leaders say? It means that the decisions, whatever the wishes, the demands of the autocrat leader or the boss of the organization is having, the employee and worker should only follow. So this leadership style is really affecting the motivation of employee. If it is supportive leadership style, so it means that the leader is always supporting their employee in variety of situations, so the employee will be motivated. The reward system, whatever the reward system do you have, is there or not? Those that they are doing well, are they being appreciated in the organization by different sources or not? Or those that they are being very bad in their works are being punished or not? So is there a reward system? It also motivates the employees. If the employees are doing their grades in the organization, they should be positively motivated by giving them the appreciations. That means motivating them by different sources. And the organizational climate, see the climates of organization is a suitable workforce, a place for diverse humans in the organization or not. At the same time, see the structure of your work. So this is all these basic. These are the 4 basic factor that is a leading cause for motivations. Now, as we see, for employee motivation organizations and organization behavior, many theory has been conducted there. The second theory, that is called theory X and theory Y, or the theories of humans motivation. that were created and developed by Douglas Murgers at the MIT School of Management in 1960s. This theory describes two contrasting models of workforce motivation that have been used in human resource management: organizational behaviors, organizational communications, and organizational developments. So what is Theory X and Theory Y? We'll be discussing each and every one in details, that what does it means. So Theory X and Y, it's Douglas McGregor's conducted that managers tend to mold their behaviors toward employees according to certain assumptions. Under the theory X, managers believe that employees inherently dislike works and must therefore be directed or coerced into performing it. While under the theory Y, the manager believes that employee can view work as natural as rest or play. Therefore, the average person can learn to accept and even seek their responsibility. But unfortunately, there is no evidence. It means that in these two theories, Theory X and Theory Y, that they have been given. So what does the Theory X say? Let me more explain about it. Theory X is based on pessimistic view of employees' motivations and behavior. Theory X is talking about the pessimistic view of employee motivation and behavior. Theory X assumption implies, so what the Theory X says, which has been explained by the Douglas, because it's a pessimistic theory towards the employees. So here manager is believing that the employee who is working in an organization dislike their works. They are not ambitious, want to avoid their responsibility, they dislike change, are self-centered. So this is the thinking of the manager in the organization toward their employee in the organization. This theory is Theory X, which is pessimistic but bina, to be think bad about your employees. So managers who hold these assumptions believe that employee can only be motivated by money, promotions, job security. So such managers are likely to use more of command and control approach with their employees. So employee will cooperate if they fail their basic needs for income and security will be met. So manager thinking about this, while at the same time we have another type of theory that is called Theory Y, which is optimistic khushbin. Theory Y is based on optimistic view of employee motivation and behavior. Theory Y assumes that employees enjoy work that is meaningful, are willing to take on responsibilities, are willing to work for organizational goals or cause they believe in, are capable of creativity, ingenuity, and self-directions. Managers who hold these assumptions believe that employees are motivated not just by material needs but also by higher level needs such as self-esteem and sense of fulfillment. Since these are continuous needs throughout life, managers should address these needs when seeking to motivate employees, giving employees more authority, broadening the scope of their jobs, and allowing them to have a say in decision making can all motivate employees to work hard for the organizations. Now, Theory X and Theory Y, as I say that Theory X theory is always thinking negative about your employees. Here the employees are mostly, the manager is thinking that thus employees are not working hard, they are not very much effective for the organizations. Employees are always stealing the time of organizations and mean that they are not very good and honest with the work, and employees are not taking the responsibilities seriously in the organization. So that is Theory X theory. So that Theory X theory, the managers say that the employee could be motivated to be responsible toward their jobs, to take serious their jobs and do their hard works. They need to be promoted, they need to be given money. So that is X theory motivation that was specifically refer to traditional method of motivation, while theory Y, in which there is always the manager is thinking about their employee in the organizations in a positive sense. They say they like their works, they can take their responsibility all the times, and in which they are always thinking about, the manager is thinking about the highest level of the hierarchy needs of the Maslow theory to be fulfilled, that is self-actualization and self-fulfillments. So the management is trying to give this satisfaction to their employee, that they are self-fulfilled and they are self-actualized and they are in the top level of their hierarchy needs of their hierarchy needs of the Maslow being fulfilled by the managers in theory Y theory. So while we're having the Herzberg's motivation hygiene theory, which is also called two-factor theories. Herzberg's motivation hygiene theory, sometimes known as Herzberg's two-factor theory, published in his famous article on One More Time, How Do You Motivate Employee? The conclusion he drew were extraordinarily influential and still form the bedrock of a good motivational practice nearly half a century later. So motivation hygiene theories or two-factor theories, motivation hygiene theory has been given by Herzberg, Friedrich Herzberg. He said, what do people want from their job? He asked people to describe in details situation in which they felt exceptionally good or bad about their jobs. Respondents who felt good about their work tended to attribute it to intrinsic factors like advancement, recognition, responsibility, achievement, which they attribute to themselves. Dissatisfied respondents tended to cite extrinsic factors, for example, hygiene factors such as supervisions, pay, company policy, working conditions. They give these two things. So Herzberg said that the opposite of satisfaction is no satisfactions, and the opposite of dissatisfaction is no dissatisfactions. So manager who seeks to eliminate factors that can create job dissatisfactions may bring about peace but not necessarily motivations. So not well supported in the literature this theory. As a manager, if you want to build a ship, make the man yearn for the sea. So Herzberg findings reveals that certain characteristics of jobs are consistently related to job satisfaction, while different factors are associated with job dissatisfactions. These are leading to dissatisfaction, not motivators, leading to satisfaction motivator. Company policy is a thing that is the satisfaction dissatisfaction leading the persons into the dissatisfaction level. See the policy of companies, whether that is in the right direction or not. See the supervision from the level of management, whether that is in right directions or not. Relationship with the boss, how is it going on? Work and working condition where they are working, is it suitable environment is being established for the employee of the organization or not. See the salary level, is it satisfactory for the employee or not. Relationship with colleagues and friends and peers in the organizations. So this is leading to dissatisfaction, not motivating. It means this will not motivate the employee. At the same time, leading to satisfaction, that is motivators, is achievement, recognition, work itself, responsibility, advancement and growth. If these things are taking place in the organization, so these become a leading factor to satisfactions, and finally the people will become motivated in the organization. While the next theory that we are having, that is Alderfer's Erg theory. The psychologist Clayton Alderfer developed a new model to explain the simultaneous nature of Maslow's 5 needs, called the Erg theory of motivation. He first published it in 1969 article which was titled as an empirical test of a new theory of human needs. In his theory, Alderfer's compressed Maslow hierarchy of needs theory from 5 to 3. Maslow gave 5 needs, while Alderfer's compressed this theory into 3. It means that made from 3 only, from 5 into 3 theory, 3 needs. That is existence, relatedness, and growth. So hence the ERG standing for existence, relatedness, and growth. It means mainly his theory is just standing for these 3 things: existence, relatedness, and growth, these needs. At the most basic level, people have existence needs. Next, we experience relatedness needs, where we fulfill our needs for satisfying interpersonal relationships. So this level relates to Maslow's social needs and to external part of self-esteem needs. We feel good about ourselves based on what other thinks about us. Finally, we reach the growth needs level. Here we are looking for a personal growth and development by doing work that is high of quality and meaningful. This equates to the internal parts of Maslow's self-esteem needs into self-actualization needs. Alderfer ERG theories, he only talked about 3 needs. He compressed the 5 needs of Maslow into 3 needs and compare that with the Maslow theories. How Maslow's and Alderfer levels relates their theory. If you see, there is physiological needs, safety needs, social needs, self-esteem needs, and self-recognition. These 5 level of needs, hierarchy needs of given by Maslow. While the same this theory has been compressed by another scientist whose name is Alderfer's ERG theory. The first 2-3, that is growth theories, and social and safety, that is related theories, and existence, that is the first. So he related these, he explained the human needs theory into 3. Herzberg's 2-factor theory, if you say the implies are not satisfied, implies are satisfied. So this is hygienic factor, this is non-motivation factors. These are satisfied, this is not satisfying. So quality of supervisions, payment, company policy, physical working condition, relationships, and job security. This is what those are factors that is become a cause for dissatisfactions or not satisfy the employee. While at the same time, there is motivation factor, that is promotionals, opportunities for individuals, and opportunity for personal growth, recognition, responsibility, achievement by the employee in the organizations. So these are satisfied. So this is Herzberg's 2-factor theories. Now we have another theory by the name of Maccelland needs theory of motivations. So a theory that states that there are 3 important needs that help to explain the motivations. Need for achievement is the drive, want to excel, and need for power is the need to make others behave in a manner in which they would not have been before otherwise. Need for fulfillments is the desire for friendly and close interpersonal relationships. So you have, for example, a ball and 5 targets. Each target is further away than the last. In this theory, which has been explained by this scientist in 1940s, Abraham Maslow created this theory of needs. This identified the basic need that human beings have in order of their importance: physiological needs, safety needs, and the needs of belonging, self-esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. Later, David Maccelland built on this work in his 1961 book, The Achieving Society. He identified 3 motivators that he believed will have a need for achievements, a need for affiliations, and a need for power. It means that those 5 Maslow needs have been has been classified into 3 types, explained in his books, Achieving of Society. three motivator things are important for the implying organization. That is need for achievement, need for affiliations, and need for power. So people will have different characteristics depending on their dominant motivator, which is good or which is dominant for them. So Maxiland says that regardless of our gender, cultures, or age, we all have three motivating drivers. And one of these will be our dominant motivating drivers. This dominant motivator is largely dependent on our cultures and life experience. So these characteristics are shown as following: dominant motivators, achievement, affiliation, and power. These three, the required things have been explained by this scientist, while Maslow explained them in 5 rows. So what does achievement means here? Achievements has a strong need to set and accomplish challenging goals, takes calculated risk to accomplish their goals, likes to receive regular feedback on their progress and achievements, often likes to work alone. This is the dominant motivator factors. Such person is always working just hard to have some achievement in their life. So what does their achievement means? Their achievements or the characteristic of this person who has been dominantly motivated is having a strong need to set and accomplish the challenging goals. This person is always taking and calculating the risk to accomplishing their goals, as well as they always see their feedbacks on their progress in their achievements. While the second needs, that is affiliations. What does the characteristic of this person are? So such persons wants to belong to the groups, they wants to be liked, and will often go along with whatever the rest of the group wants to do. It means that he always wishing to work in a teamwork, and they want to work in a groups. So what the team demands and what the team wishes, he also would like to continue that. Favors collaboration over the competitions. Is not thinking about the competition, but is always favoring the condition to collaborate and help with each others. He doesn't like high risk or uncertainties. While the dominant motivators, the characteristic of such persons, that is power. So it means that such person wants to control and influence others, likes to win arguments, enjoy competition and winnings, enjoy status and recognitions. So in the society, some people are just, as it's defined by this scientist, the human needs are 3 in the societies. That human has what 3 needs in society or in organizations. Achievements, humans are always doing their efforts to achieve great things in their life. At the same time, they never want to be alone, so they always want to be in social in their life and to cooperate with each other in their life to finally achieve their targets. And some people are just demanding this in their life, that they need to achieve the power. So these are the 3 dominant motivators, and each individual have these characteristics as I explained here. The next theory that we are having, that is goal setting theory of motivations, which has been evolved and established by Edwin Locke in 1960. Edwin Locke put forward the goal setting theory of motivation. So this theory states that goal setting is essentially linked to task performance, and it states that specific and challenging goals along with appropriate feedback contribute to higher and better task performance. In simple word, we can say such theory in goal setting theory of motivation that goal indicate and give direction to an employee about what needs to be done and how much efforts are required to put in. Edwin Locke, which has given this theory a goal setting theory of motivation, in simple word he have explained that this theory is talking about that if we are indicating our goals and we are giving our directions to the employees about that what is needed that should be done and how much effort is required to put forward in order to achieve the targets, it means that this theory is known as the goal setting theory of motivation. It means that we are setting a goal for the first for ourselves. Features or characteristics of this theory: the willingness to work toward attainment of goal is main source of job motivations. Clear, particular and difficult goals are greater motivating factor than easy, general and vague goals. Specific and clear goals lead to greater output and better performance. Unambiguous, measurable and clear goals accompanied by a deadline for completions avoid misunderstanding about the implies. So these are the two features of the goal setting theory of motivations. At the same time, we have two more: that goals should be realistic and challenging. This gives an individual a feelings of pride and triumph when he attains them and set him for attainment of next goal. Better and appropriate feedback of a result directs the implied behaviors and contribute to higher performance than absence of feedback. It helps employee to work with the more involvement and leads to a greater job satisfactions. Next is implies participation in goal is not always desirable. Participation of setting goal, however, makes goal more acceptable and leads to more characteristics. There is another theory by the name of equity theory, which has also been given in organizational behaviors in the subjects of organizational behavior as well as in psychology subjects about how to study and understand your implies behavior in the organizations and what theory should be applied there just to molds the behavior of your employee to achieve your individual organizational goal. So equity theory of motivation developed in the early 1960s by Stacey Adams, that is recognized that motivation can be affected through an individual perception of their fair treatment and social exchange. When compared to other people, individuals want to be compensated fairly for their contributions. The outcome they experience match their inputs. A person believes in regard to what is fair and what is not fair can affect their motivations, attitudes and behavior. So equity theory helps explain why highly paid union workers go on strike when no one else but the member understand why, and why millionaires athletes feel that they are underpaid and don't feel they makes enough money. So motivation and equity theory is influenced by an individual judgment about the fairness of the reward she gets relative to the inputs compared with the reward of others. So equity theory proposes that a person's motivation is based on what he or she considers to be fair when compared to others. In equity theories focuses on an implies work compensation relationship or exchange relationships as well as that imply attempt to minimize any sense of unfairness that might result. Because equity theory deals with social relationship in fairness, unfairness, it is also known as the social comparison theory or inequality theorism. So if we see this diagram regarding the equity theory, if you see the persons in comparison with other, see the equity outcomes, inputs, of. See, this is outcome inputs of the person, comparison with other outcomes inputs. See negative inequity. Outcomes less, higher inputs. So output is outcomes, inputs. Positive equity, if we see outcomes, inputs, outcomes, inputs. It means that if we look at to this diagram, it will be more, understandable for you. That is balance or imbalance of reward, inequitable rewards, equitable rewards, more than equitable rewards. So inequitable rewards, dissatisfaction, reduced output, departure from organizations. Equitable rewards has been given to continuation at the same level of outputs, and more than equitable reward is given to those that they are harder workers. It means harder works. Those that they do hard works, so they might be given more rewards. While equitable rewards is the continuation at the same level of output. How much they do, that much they will get. While inequitable rewards, when we are almost dissatisfied from the job, so surely their output will be reduced. So in regard to the equity theory, we are understanding about that it is dealing with the fairness and unfairness, that whether the result has come in a fair way or unfair way. It means that what he or she consider to be fair, as which is not that's comparing with other person, that could be not unfair. So it is influential by individual judgment about the fairness of the rewards he or she gets in the organization. See that different employees in the organizations are working in different level, so many of them are being rewarded in one way and many of them might be rewarded in another way. So this fairness and unfairness treatment of the employee in the organizations in regard to the rewarding system is called the equity theory, that there should be an equity among the employee. I mean that though that they are working hard, their hard workers should be paid according to their works, and those that they are showing laziness in their works work process should not be given that much, as it's those who are more in their work should be given more. So it means if they all are being treated at the same level in the organizations, so this is not a good way of treating the employee in the organization, because those that they are doing well and those that they are not doing well, so equally they are being treated in the organization, is not the way of motivating the individuals. So we might be discussing about these two theory in details once again in coming lecture number 10, but hope you understand till now this lecture. If you have got any questions, you can put forward your answer, your questions and suggestions and critics. Let me know on the spot if you have got any questions and suggestions regarding the lectures. Allah Hafiz, wish you best of luck. Thank you for your patience, attentions and time.